Russos brand family. We are family.
Attitude Club for life.
MLW's Aria Blake calls in to join me today, and we talk about her time at MLW. We talk about the Fantasy Florida SuperCon coming up next week, and we also jump into a few conspiracies, mainly aliens, the iPhone, selfie camera, and the Titanic. Very interesting conversation. You're not going to want to miss it, so check us out right now. Aria Blake, MLW's own, joins Generating Heat right now.
Hey, this is Stevie Richards. I'm here to tell you don't necessarily need all this equipment to get in the best shape of your life. All you need is this, a resistance band. I'm so excited to offer the 12-week resistance band training program to you, which features an interactive PDF with full overview videos, modifications, descriptions of all the exercises, scalability, no matter what fitness level or what age you are, the PDF scales the workout to you. Also, after your instant download of the PDF, you get full direct email support right from me, as well as access to a Facebook group with an awesome interactive community. I can't wait to help you take control of your fitness journey. So just put in StevieRichardsFitness.com, go to the store, and download the 12-week resistance band training program.
All right, guys. Welcome once again to another exciting episode of Generating Heat. I am your host, JG, and I want to first thank everybody on Google Podcasts because this is the first real live episode you're getting. You got all the back episodes, but thank you all for subscribing, and we hope to give you all the best. I have on the line with me, you can catch her on MLW on Friday nights on the BN Network, and this coming here in a couple weeks, you can catch her at the Fantasy Florida Cosplay Indie Show, and she's at all other indie shows across the Southeast, just about. And the most important thing is do not call yourself a flat earther in her presence. The gorgeous Aria Blake joins us on Generating Heat. What's up, girl? How you doing?
Hello. I'm great. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Do you like it? You like how I put you over like that?
Yeah, but you didn't say my name right.
Aria. I kept going back and forth with that.
A lot of people do.
So I came up with Aria, and then of course, like the heel that I am, it was not correct. So we're starting off with heat already. That's all good.
No worries.
So you've been doing your thing on MLW. You got you got several things going on. You're really coming up in the world. You've been in the business a couple of years now. Kind of take us back. How'd you get involved? How did everything start for you?
I began training when I was 19 in Clearwater, Florida with Jay Lethal and Angelina Love. It was a very small class, beginners class. Aspen Rose actually started the same day. I trained there for a while, and then I debuted the following January in a battle royal won by my now boyfriend, Hunter Law, who's in the next room coughing. And I know that he would want me to put him over and say that he won.
Nice.
But yeah, I had my debut, I think that's 9 months after training. And my next match after that was a tag match where I partnered with Hunter and Troy Hollywood and had my first singles match with Aspen Rose. Kind of kept it in the family for a little bit. And
nice. Now, have you been a fan all of your life and just got into it, or was you at the...
I wouldn't say all my life, but I began watching when I was 14.
So that was probably around the time that Cena was really big, and
10 years ago.
Yeah. It was a nice time. That's a good time to get involved right there. But so you trained with Jay Lethal and Angelina Love.
Yes.
two of the best workers in the business, in my opinion. So you definitely got some great training there.
Thanks, I
Yeah.
agree.
Are you from Clearwater?
Yes, born and raised.
All right. I like spending some time on St. Pete's Beach from time to time when I get down that way. It's my
Nice. Yeah, St. Pete's really nice.
yeah. Does your family support you in this? Because I know that the indie struggle is real sometimes.
Oh, they absolutely do. They support me in like legit everything I do, albeit like financially, supportively, motivationally.
Yeah.
They were hesitant at first, especially my mom. She like will constantly be like, "Well, why did I pay for you to go to college?" But I mean, she gets it. They're very supportive.
I mean, education is always a great thing to fall back on. You got to put that over with her, you know?
Oh, totally. Yeah. And to use at the same time, like make double the money.
Yeah. And, I saw a tweet from you, I don't know, maybe yesterday or this morning sometime, that you're kind of branching out a little bit and expanding your brand and maybe starting a couple of other things on the side also. Education definitely comes in handy with that stuff. You want to talk about any of it, or is it still
yeah, definitely works? So I don't know, I don't want to say a lot because I don't want to give away a lot, but I like creating and have forever. I just like creating products, and I want to do something in the realm of naturalness. So it's not necessarily like I'm coming out with a t-shirt or like another 8x10. It's going to be something more wellness based. So I'm really excited about that. And I do like tapping into business, especially since I can't wrestle with my injury at the moment. But it's just, I like expanding myself and evolving and seeing how to challenge myself in different realms, business and wrestling. So I'm working on a blog, which, as cliche as it sounds, will be very like lifestyle oriented. Not so much wrestling. I will like have links to that, but it's going to be more personal and things that I enjoy in life too. So those are two things that I'm really working on and honestly have dedicated today and tomorrow to.
Nice. You you talked about your injury. You want to kind of take us through what happened there?
Ooh, okay. It's a long story. So let's start way back further. I have hypermobility syndrome. So my shoulders and like my elbows, my fingers, a lot of my body is like what people say are double jointed, but it's hypermobile. They expand and bend beyond what they should, blah, blah, blah. So my shoulders have always been kind of messed up because of that. I've never had an injury, but last March 2017, I took a bad German suplex and it popped my shoulder forward. And that messed up my supraspinatus. And I continued to wrestle. I actually wrestled another match that night. So I wrestled twice in one day. I was out of state, so it kind of sucked. I did a little bit of physical therapy, but like I said, I was still wrestling, so I was like half-assing it. I hurt it again and took a little bit of time off. And I'd say around like the end of January-ish, I just like couldn't take it anymore. I was like, my shoulder's killing me all the time, like even just sleeping and stuff. So I went to one orthopedic doctor who sent me in for an MRI, got my results, and said I had a Hagel lesion. It's like humeral anterior glenoid ligament. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Them terms always get you.
Yeah, but I mean, Hagel is easy to remember. So I had one of those, and it was like twice the size of what it should be. And that was indicative of rotator cuff damage. And then looking at my shoulder, there was just like a bunch of stuff wrong. Like it was just so loose and like just gross, basically. But I went back to that ortho after my MRI, and he said that this was something weird and like only he would see it on his boards. So he sent me off to another specialist who sees a lot of like baseball players and like swimmers, people who use their upper body a lot.
Right.
And that doctor did surgery. It was, I'm gonna think of the surgical name. It was a anterior arthroscopic shoulder plication. So he went in 5 incisions in my shoulder and 7 stitches. It's all very tight. My supraspinatus and labrum are like tied back onto my bone or whatever with dissolvable stitches, or maybe they're not dissolvable. He cleared up a lot of bursitis, got a good look at stuff, and it's been 3 months and almost 10 days since surgery.
How's the rehab going?
Some days are good, some days aren't. It depends on what I'm doing with my shoulder, honestly. Some days in physical therapy, we take it less. I'm sorry. And then, like, some days I will push myself in the gym and overdo it. So, I mean, it's sore, but I'm definitely a lot stronger. I feel a lot better. My mobility is almost there. I got a shot of cortisone unexpectedly last week, and that hurt a lot, but it really, really helped.
Now, are you still showing up at shows and cutting promos and things of that nature, or are you just kind of totally out right now?
Oh, no, I'm still around. Like you said, with MLW, like, I'm managing. I'm doing Florida SuperCon next month. It's not, hardcore wrestling, but it is something wrestling related, and it's cosplay.
Yeah.
But I still want to be involved. Like, I even do behind the scene things with MLW from time to time with like social media and stuff. So I just I have to be around wrestling, or I don't know what I do with my life.
Yeah, it's a culture, man. And once you're into it, it's your life, it's your lifestyle, and that's how you see a lot of guys and girls that get out of it. They have such a hard time because they're not around the life anymore. And when you're in the ring or not, just being around the boys and being around the girls, it can be challenging when you're not there and you're kind of just out of the loop, So you're kind of managing Joey Janela and MLW, and the couple episodes that I've caught of that with you guys on it, it seems like your chemistry is awesome, and you complement each other well. Is that something that have y'all known each other for a while, and you're just kind of portraying that on screen now, or is it something you guys?
I'd say we've known each other like a year.
Okay.
So we weren't super tight, but I mean, now it is what it is.
I mean, y'all are hot up there for real. I'm liking it. I mean, I've always enjoyed Joey's work on the indies. What I'm seeing of you right now, you've got a lot of potential, and I'm liking what I see out of you as well. So it's definitely. I think y'all could go places with that for real.
I do too, and you will have to stay tuned to see.
Is there when you come back from injury, is there a intergender tag team championship in your horizon in anywhere?
I really hope so. That would be a cool championship.
Yeah. Kind of be your own Joey Ryan and Candice LeRae,
Yeah.
And what do you think about the evolution of the business like that, to where everyone's on an even playing field in a lot of promotions now? Is that a good thing, or is there some things exposed out of that, or just what are your feelings on that?
I don't think that there's a possibility that there could be a problem in equality. I think that being equal is something that we've obviously fought so long for. And I'm very grateful to be wrestling in this time where we are on more of an even platform, more of an even level, given similar opportunities. So I'm for it. I like equality. I like intergender wrestling. You're going with intergender tag wrestling. I'm a huge fan of that.
Yeah, I think it looks cool. I really do. I mean,
yeah, but I don't think it's to take away from we are still I think women's wrestlers, and I think that's just something to be proud of because it carries a history.
Do you think maybe it'll catch enough buzz on the indie scene to where WWE will eventually integrate it into their product?
I don't know.
Is that
That's a
is that
hard
something the
call because
masses
I
will
could
be
see it
ready for?
both ways.
Yeah, I don't know if the masses are quite ready for that yet, but I'm telling you, it's as a wrestling fan of 30 years, I think it's awesome. Back in the day, this is before your time in the Attitude Era, you had a couple of matches like that on the WWE. You had Sabre and Jackie all kind of intertwined in a little feud, and I thought it was one of the greatest things in wrestling. You know,
Uh-huh.
Sable.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like I see it on both sides of the spectrum. Like, obviously, I would like to see it and do it, but I could see why some are hesitant.
Yeah. Is that your end game to kind of end up in WWE, or are you happy working the indie scene and kind of making your own schedule and being able to do other things outside of the business?
It's my absolute goal for sure. I love where I'm at, and I love well, I don't love being injured. That's a lie. That's the only thing I guess I would change. But I love like what I'm doing with MLW and all the opportunities I've had so far. But I definitely want that to be, that's my main focus.
Yeah. I saw a tweet earlier today that I wanted to kind of get your comment on.
Oh god.
No, it's nothing like that. Nothing bad. One of the I would say an important entry level promotion for women's wrestling, Rise. It looks like their last show is going to be coming up soon on July the 8th. Have you been with them at all, or do you have any?
I was on the first Rise.
It was on the first Rise? Okay.
Yes.
And, stuff, it sucks because it does seem like, Rise was, like I said, kind of the entry level, a very important one at that for women's wrestling and being able to put women on the map. And I think that they were kind of a breeding ground for like Shimmer and some other promotions like that. What is this going to do to women's wrestling to not have them around?
So, like I said, I was on the first Rise and I was so new to all of it. I had never been to Shimmer or anything. And it is aligned with Shimmer. It's like a little sister kind of a development system. And when I went, I gained so much knowledge from so many women and Kevin, the producer of Rise, the former Shimmer announcer. And it was just crazy. I loved the seminar. I loved the live event. I was able to wrestle Angel Dust, who eventually became the first Rise champion. It was an unreal experience, especially at the time. I was like a year or so in. To see it go away is really crappy. I wish it wasn't, but I don't know. I hope it's not going away. Let's not say that. Let's hope it's maybe just a break, maybe just a little bit of a pause. Because I definitely don't want to see Rise go away. It's been fundamental for so many women to get opportunities with so many different companies like Shimmer, Impact, Ring of Honor, Stardom, the like. I wanted to go back and do Rise so badly and had plans for it last April, but my shoulder happened. And yeah, so I didn't, but it sucks so much. I don't know. I really hope that it'll be back maybe by the end of the year.
Yeah.
That's just me wishful thinking. I have no idea, but
yeah, and everywhere they travel, they do their little seminars and stuff too, and that really brings more people to the product, in my opinion. So I hope the same as you. I hope it's just a little sabbatical and that they're able to get back on their feet and start doing what they do again.
Yeah, me too.
Now, coming up July 12th through 15th, you are booked for Fantasy SuperCon in Fort Lauderdale. What's your cosplay? What character are you going to be?
I'm not allowed to say yet because it's going to be a surprise.
Oh, okay. Nice.
But my hint is that it's a redhead.
Okay.
That's not really it,
I was going to say you're already a redhead. Sort of.
I mean, like, I could wrestle in a wig, but, like, that sounds so hard.
Somebody will snatch it up.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get snatch
I
balled.
know, right?
Oh God.
Yeah. So what? How does that work? Like, is it like a tournament based thing? I've never seen one of these.
Yes, so a bunch of different wrestlers come in and we cosplay. So instead of being Aria Blake, I was Yoko Littner from Gurren Lagann last time. And I wrestle like as myself, but also in her character. So I come out dressed as her. I had her little sniper. And I wrestled like Su Young played Evelyn. And then like Alex Chamberlain played Skeletor. Like we have such like weird like costumes and characters, I guess. It's really fun. You basically just it's wrestling, but it's more acting in the cosplay characters. It's hard to explain. You have to see it.
Is it a big draw?
Oh yeah, because Florida SuperCon is a big convention, so Fantasy SuperCon Wrestling is just like an exhibit of it.
And I see they're going up to Raleigh a couple weeks after that. Are you booked for that show as well?
That one I'm not.
Okay. So this is the point in the program where we talk about some real life junk. Are you ready?
Oh yes.
Me and you have a common ground, as in we are conspiracy nerds.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, we discussed a few things we had to talk about. You just mentioned you was listening to something earlier. What was you listening to earlier?
Let me look at the name of it. It is Conspiracy Theories and Unpopular Culture with Isaac Weishaupt.
What was they talking about?
I was listening to one about Mariah Carey into the occult.
Oh,
It's a long title, but like that's the part of it that I can see right now. And they talked about, I think, the missing Malaysian flight. That one is more like current affairs. Like it comes out weekly, so I'm like going back and listening to episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm big into the shadow governments and Illuminati and things like that. But that might be a little controversial, so we'll try to stay away from that right now.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get kidnapped.
I know, right? Not trying to Anthony Bourdain myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But back in and this is crazy. This is a shoot. Back in 1952, my hometown, in which I live in Richmond, Virginia now, but my hometown is actually Flatwoods, West Virginia. There was an alien sighting in Flatwoods, West Virginia. A lot of the old timers still talk about it to this day, and you can go on YouTube and check it out. It's called the Flatwoods Monster. About there's this hill, I don't know, about 2 miles from the grade school that I attended, where this alien craft supposedly landed and come out, and there was these old hillbillies like had a hunting cabin in the woods, and the alien walked up to about 20 feet from the window and then vanished. And then then like the aircraft got up and flew out of the way. So have you heard any alien experiences like that before?
I mean, like I've heard all of the popular theories. I haven't heard that one in particular. I can't say I've heard of any that have happened in my area. But I definitely believe in them. I think it's extremely close-minded to think otherwise. There's an entire universe that hasn't been explored, and we are just basic humans. Like our knowledge of that stuff, we can't grasp it. There has to be something else out there. Who are we to say that there's not?
Yeah, and I mean, there's these theories about, aliens actually being captured and going through alien court and things like that, and that's pretty crazy to me. There's that supposedly in DC there's an alien court where they prosecute aliens, I guess, from better
You're my alien
better
backpack
terms.
right now.
Nice.
I just turned my head
Oh.
and, like, something's blowing, and I was like, "Oh shit!" It's like a hologram.
That's awesome. That is so
But,
awesome.
I don't know. Like, I think they could come visit us for sure, and maybe they have. We have no idea what their form could be. I mean, you could be an alien for all I know.
Exactly.
My dog could.
And yeah.
But I also think of visitation, it's like very risky. So I could see maybe why not coming to. I definitely just agree that they're out there, but I don't know how close they've come.
Yeah. I was in the Air Force for a time, and I was pushing hardcore for my next assignment to be at Area 51.
I knew you were going to say that.
Man, I'm telling you.
Real quick, I want to call my new finisher Aria 51.
Aria 51.
Yes.
Nice. What is your new finisher? What did you come up with?
Whatever works with my shoulder. I don't know yet. I have to come up with it.
That's all.
I have a name.
That's an awesome name, though, for real.
Yeah.
Aria 51.
Yeah, but no, that's exactly what I would want information on.
Yeah. Like, I put so hardcore for that, and I didn't have the security clearance. I was going to have to go through a bunch of more background checks and things of that nature to actually get there. But then I ended up separating before I got a chance to fulfill that. So it's kind of a empty place in my soul right now, because I feel like I was kind of close. I got to do a couple of interviews, which it's a very lengthy process. So
I bet. That's wild.
Yeah.
I definitely think there are some things there that it's impossible for it to just be a normal thing.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not.
Like, I've seen videos of people on YouTube going up there to play Pokemon Go, and they get like held at gunpoint from unmarked cars and stuff. Like,
yeah,
that's wild.
Yeah, you can't get anywhere near that place for real.
Yeah, and it's like private security companies too.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to touch on with you was the little iPhone camera, selfie camera thing that.
No. The shit that I'm having a problem with.
I definitely think there's something to that. You want to expound on what you think?
Well, do you know my experience I had like last week?
I don't.
Oh no, I thought you did. Okay, so I was getting ready in the morning, and I was like doing my eyebrows, and I had on a video by a YouTuber called Lizbug, and it was a true crime video. And all of a sudden it stops, and like another one of her videos starts playing. So I was like, that's weird. And then, but I'm like, whatever. And then like a YouTube ad for like a pasta started playing. It was like whatever pasta is sold that's like the blue boxes with like a little bit of red. I can't remember what it's called, and that's very vague. But then it closed my YouTube app, opened my Facebook Messenger, slid left so that my camera was open front facing, and like I could see like my filters.
Wow.
So yeah, I think when I brought that up to you before, like I was like, hey, let's talk about that. That was before this happened, but yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is some crazy shit for real.
And like, what do you do about that?
Yeah. Had you heard of that happening before to others?
Yeah.
Before that happened to you? Yeah.
And
yeah, I kind of heard.
Someone's like, it's a glitch. I'm like, okay.
No,
that's the answer if I just want to accept it now.
As much technology and AI as we have out there now, that's not a glitch. The glitches like that just don't happen where it just all of a sudden opens straight up into your app to your filters. No, that ain't no glitch.
It's a Facebook of all things.
Yeah. I have some theories about Facebook too, but that'll take like a whole episode to get through.
Yeah, I probably have the same theories.
Yeah. But
yeah, I definitely think that the cameras are shady. I think that especially with facial recognition, that's terrifying. But I mean, I'm obviously guilty of using a bunch of Snapchat filters and looking like a dog. But it's weird.
What's weird, I put out on Facebook the other day, I put out I have two profiles. One of them's kind of suspended right now because I like making dank memes and people like reporting them. But on my other one, which is very private, it's like I don't do any promoting or anything on there. It's just for like close friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
I took a picture and I posted it to my messenger story.
Mm-hmm.
And my other profile was tagged in it somehow.
Weird.
Yeah. So I have no idea how that happened, but yeah, that facial recognition is just crazy. But I shaved, like I used to have a pretty big beard and I just recently shaved it. So I guess they can go through and it can recognize you without, however you looked before.
Ew, I guess. That's creepy.
Yeah.
It like thinks about you.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, that's so spooky. But, yeah, I don't love that I have to have Facebook, but it's like it sucks because now we use it so much to connect to other things.
Yeah. And it's good if you use it for promotional purposes and things like that. Oh, yeah. And I've been on it so long now. Like I was one of the, I guess 2008. So I guess I was one of the first users, pretty close. Wow, yeah. Before it got to like 1 million and stuff. And just to see the evolution of it is crazy, and what you can do with it and things like that.
Yeah, I think I made mine like maybe 2010, and I definitely didn't expect any of this. Like I didn't know I was signing up for all that.
Did you ever have MySpace?
Hell yeah, I had MySpace.
Yeah, I didn't do the whole MySpace thing.
Oh, I missed it.
I see people still go back to check their old MySpaces from time to time, just to see where they were back then and stuff. And
yeah, it's like
I kind of wish
it's like a, what's it called? Like a time capsule.
Yeah. I wish I had it for that, but there's a lot of things back then that probably wasn't very camera friendly about my life back then too. But yeah, you like I said, we got that. We got the alien thing.
Mm-hmm.
What else did you want to talk about? What's another interesting one?
The Titanic one.
The Titanic one.
You don't know that?
Yes. Oh, I know.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So, what are your feelings on it, though?
At first, I was skeptical, but like I definitely could see. The more I find out about insurance policies in like the late 1800s, early 1900s, I'm like, yeah, that was corrupt.
Yeah,
so I kind of definitely believe that the boats were switched.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I mean, and especially if the company was in financial trouble, I could definitely see it happening. Which I think there's some people that's actually researched that a little bit, and that was kind of the case. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, I'm weird with you. I think that it sucks because like all the people that had to lose their lives from it, but it makes sense from the financial standpoint, and I think that the Morgan family was somewhat involved.
You think?
I feel like that sounds familiar, like them being one of the families that, because it had to do with I think the U.S. Federal Reserve. Yeah, J.P. Morgan, it says, was the owner of the RMS Titanic.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that part. That's
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I got my names right, so I googled it. But yeah, he was.
So we're investing into a murderer then, pretty much.
Kind of. It depends how you look at it.
Yeah.
which would make sense because well, he died the following year, so he kind of got his. But I don't know. I kind of blame him.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, I knew that there was, the company and things like that, but I wasn't aware that JP Morgan was a part of that. That's a whole new revelation for me right there.
Yeah, you got to look into that. He was like super powerful or popular when in finance, when like all of that was going on in like the year that it sank. So something to look into. He owned a lot of businesses, so I guess shipping was one of them.
Yeah, and even the story of the iceberg and stuff like that, and how it could be seen as an optical illusion where it wasn't there, and then all of a sudden it's there. I mean, and I've seen people do case studies on this up in that sea, up in those waters, and they try to make you believe that that's actually what happened, but I don't see how. Even back then, they had the sonars and radar detector equipment and stuff like that, to where nothing was seen at that point in time. I mean, come on.
It's also just as simple as they had multiple people awake and working, so multiple sets of eyes could have seen it.
Yeah.
It's fishy.
Yeah. Very, very much so. No pun intended.
No, but the whole thing is just weird, and it's like my favorite movie of all time is Titanic, and I like to remember it I mean, it's not a happy movie, but I like to remember it as, oh, I like Titanic. I liked going to Titanic exhibits growing up, but now I look at it and I'm just like, there's more to it.
Yeah.
And it's not a nice more.
And if you look back at the course of history, a lot of things that we have been told happened really didn't happen the way that they say that.
Oh,
they did.
definitely.
Like pretty much every history book that we studied in school can be challenged.
Yes. Because history is only written by like the winners.
Yeah.
So it's
called revisionist history. And it's like, yeah, even going back to, the Revolutionary Wars and how we came to America and things like that. You ask some of these Native American tribesmen out here what their history speaks of, and it's a totally different history than what we were taught in school.
Oh yeah, especially that race in particular, because we kind of, the colonists just like obliterated them as much as they could, unfortunately. But history it's hard because, especially in those textbooks, they're obviously biased. They're not always dated and cited correctly. And it kind of just speaks to the education system, but that's like a whole other thing in itself. But a lot of history is not it's what's it called? It's not the official story.
Yeah. They call it revisionist history. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah.
Eric Bischoff, former WCW president, can speak to that. How WWE does that with him all the time.
Yeah.
Do you ever get into listen to other wrestling podcasts like that, or do you just kind of your free time you want to be away from the business?
No, I definitely listen. I like the Cultaholic Wrestling podcast. I like the Xbox 123.
12360. Yeah, he's great.
A lot. Edge and Christian. I'll listen to Jericho sometimes. My boyfriend's obsessed with Bruce Pritchard's podcast.
Oh my God, I love that. That's my number one podcast, and we're on the Vince Russo brand network.
Oh yeah.
But my number one podcast is the Bruce Pritchard podcast, for real. Mm-hmm. And sorry, Vince, but I just like the all the rumor and innuendo, so to speak, that he brings into it, you know.
Yeah, I love him. He's great. Like, I work with him in MLW. He's produced a lot of my stuff. But
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I just like don't really know his podcast because I know that they're very long.
They're very long. Conrad, his co-host,
Yeah.
grills the shit out of him. That's what makes him so long sometimes, because he will be like, well, wait a minute here. You're telling this story here, but back in, you know, whatever time it was, you was telling this story. What's changed between now and then? Or were you lying then, or are you lying now? So, like, that makes it really interesting to me. And Conrad's the same guy that does Eric Bischoff's podcast and Shivani's. He does all three of them.
Right.
And him and Eric Bischoff get into some screaming matches on there sometimes. As a matter of fact, I just heard about the one that dropped today that I can't wait to listen to, about them screaming back and forth at each other within the first 10 minutes of the podcast. So I'm really looking forward to that. Is there anything else that you want to put over while I got you on here?
Please go check out my new merch store. It is in my Twitter bio. It's an ECWID store. I purposely picked that because it's ECW is the first few letters. I will have new shirts up there very soon for myself, as well as your daddy's favorite tag team, the Spoiled Brats. You can follow all of our social media is at Spoiled Brats SA, and all my stuff is at the Aria Blake.
I actually meant to ask you about that because, yeah, I have an 11-year-old daughter, and she's not quite into the indie wrestling scene yet, but her daddy is already one of your favorite fans.
Good. Glad to hear. I kind of figured.
I like them. Do you like working better as a babyface or a heel?
Heel.
Definitely. You can be more yourself as a heel.
Yes, it's just easier, you know.
So, I mean, that's the way I look at it, is if you're cutting heel promos, a lot of that comes from truths that you might not necessarily be able to say and do as yourself, but you can portray it through that character and release your emotion at the same time and kind of get a weight lifted off your shoulders, but doing it through a character and making money off of it.
Yep, that's what I do pretty much.
As a baby face, I would never work as a baby face. I mean, I would be like, I guess I would be like a Roman Reigns. I would try my best to get over with the curtain. It just would never happen. And eventually I would have to talk to whoever is booking me and be like, look, this ain't me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, been there.
Yeah. So, yeah, catch you definitely Friday nights, 8 p.m. MLW Fusion. That's a great show, by the way. I'm glad that Court brought that back. I liked it.
Agree.
I liked it back in the early 2000s when he was out.
Mm-hmm.
And the production value is so much better now. It looks like the little intimate environment that y'all are in is working well for you guys, like the soundstage. Do you guys have a different crowd come in for each episode, or is it kind of the same crowd?
A lot of the same. It's a lot of Florida fans, especially Orlando locals, but people drive in from as far as like Georgia and Miami to come. Yeah.
And then definitely, I hope that this will be up on YouTube so that I can check it out. I would definitely want to check it out. Mm-hmm. The fantasy SuperCon, Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, you can go find some stuff from last year and the year prior. Like, it's definitely up there.
Yeah, I'm not really a quote unquote comic mark or anything like that, but yeah, I like good stories, and I feel that going the characters and doing it like that, you can tell good stories through that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people are not familiar with cosplay wrestling, but it's really cool.
Yeah, so that's FSCW. Check it out on YouTube. Yeah. I'm going to do the same. Aria, I appreciate you coming on with me, Generating Heat. Had a great conversation. We'll definitely get into some more conspiracies at a later time. Maybe we'll do a whole podcast on that and do it kind of under the radar. That way people won't come find us and men in black us, or so to say.
Yes.
And I appreciate you coming on. And is there anything else you want to put over? Your social medias?
Basically, just like I said, at the Aria Blake everywhere.
Yeah. And then you also got your couple new ventures coming out, so people stay tuned to that. And check out Aria's YouTube page, because it's quite entertaining, some of the things that you have on there.
Yes, that one is youtube.com/Aria Blake. That one's just a little bit different.
Nice.
But yeah.
But thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. We will definitely do it again sometime. And I'm going to put you over with the Conspiracy Horsemen, which I know a couple of those guys. Stevie Richards is one of them.
Oh, yeah?
And, yeah. So I'm going to put you over with them, and maybe they can get you on their show and talk a little deeper into some conspiracies. Yeah.
Yes.
But thank you very much, and you have a wonderful day.
All right. Thanks. You too.